All right, so let's dive into this.
Okay.
This is something that I know you've been wrestling with a little bit,
Right.
finding your voice in a new language,
Mm-hmm.
specifically when and how to start speaking and how to feel comfortable doing it.
Yeah.
And we're going to unpack some serious research here,
Okay.
like the work of Stephen Krashen
Mm-hmm.
and Meryl Swain, and turn those theories into actionable advice that you can actually use.
All right. I like it.
I think one of the interesting things here is that your question goes beyond just wanting to speak.
Right.
You're looking for that feeling of comfort, of confidence in your output.
Yes, definitely.
And that's where I think understanding the mechanics of language learning
Uh-huh.
can make a world of difference.
Yeah.
It's not just about mimicking phrases.
Mm-hmm.
It's about the process of how we move from understanding to confidently producing language.
Right.
And you even mentioned in your notes that you're drawn to this idea of I+1 in language learning,
Yes.
which, funnily enough, ties directly into this.
For those unfamiliar, I+1 is a concept from Krashen's input hypothesis,
Right.
and it refers to the idea of learning material that's just slightly above your current level.
I see.
Like, remember that time you tackled an article about like a new scientific discovery or something like that?
Yeah.
It stretched your vocabulary, but you could still grasp the main ideas.
Okay.
That's your I+1 in action.
That's I+1.
Yeah.
And Krashen argues that focusing on this kind of input actually builds a natural pathway to speaking.
Mm-hmm.
It's like absorbing the language through osmosis, just like a child does.
Yeah.
But, your notes also mention Meryl Swain's output hypothesis,
Right.
which presents a little bit of a different perspective.
Yes. Swain flips the script a bit and argues that speaking and writing,
Mm-hmm.
those acts of output aren't just results of learning. They're
Yeah.
actually drivers of it.
Okay.
Remember when you were learning to write in your target language?
Yep.
Suddenly, all those grammar rules that you'd been studying finally clicked because you were actively using them.
Yeah.
That's the output hypothesis in action.
So on one hand, we have Krashen saying focus on comprehensible input and speaking will emerge naturally.
Right.
On the other hand, Swain is saying push yourself to produce output, and that struggle will deepen your learning.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we reconcile these seemingly different approaches?
That's where things get really fascinating.
Okay.
It's not about choosing one over the other.
Yeah.
It's about understanding how they work together.
Okay.
Think of it this way. Krashen provides the foundation, the building blocks of language, through input,
Okay.
while Swain gives us the tools to solidify and refine that knowledge through active use.
I see.
So it's kind of like
So they work together.
they work together. Yeah.
But there's still that lingering question, when is the right time to start speaking?
Yeah.
You mentioned feeling a bit hesitant.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a certain level of knowledge you need before you can feel comfortable.
Yeah. And that's a really common feeling,
Yeah.
especially when we think back to like traditional language classes that often emphasized grammar drills and rote memorization
Oh, yeah.
before ever letting students loose to actually speak. But both Krashen and Swain, along with a lot of modern research, suggest that we should actually encourage output
Okay.
much earlier in the learning process.
So are we saying dive headfirst into complex conversations right from the get-go?
No, not at all.
Because I remember that feeling of being overwhelmed, like trying to explain quantum physics after only reading a Wikipedia article.
Right.
Not exactly a recipe for confidence.
Exactly. It's about finding those safe environments for practice
Okay.
where mistakes are seen as learning opportunities, not failures.
I see.
So this could be a language partner who's patient and encouraging a supportive online community,
Mhm.
or even an app like LangMagic,
Oh, okay.
which uses comprehensible input through YouTube videos to guide your learning.
That sounds much more approachable. But I'm curious, what does early output actually look like in practice?
Yeah.
We're not talking about giving a presentation in a language we barely understand, right?
Exactly. It can be as simple as practicing basic phrases with a language partner,
Okay.
recording yourself reading a short text,
Ah,
or even writing short responses in online forums.
okay.
The key is to start small, build confidence, and gradually increase the complexity as you progress.
So it's about finding those opportunities to use the language actively,
Mm-hmm.
even if it feels a bit messy at first.
Right.
It's about embracing the process, knowing that every attempt, every stumble
Yeah,
is actually a step forward.
precisely. And as you gain more experience, you'll naturally start to feel more comfortable with your output.
Mm-hmm.
You'll find your voice, your own unique way of expressing yourself in the language.
This is already helping me reframe my whole approach to speaking.
Good.
It's not about reaching some mythical level of perfection before I can open my mouth. It's about using the language as a tool for learning and connection right from the start.
Exactly. And that shift in mindset can be incredibly empowering.
Yeah.
It takes the pressure off and allows you to focus on the joy of discovery, of playing with the language, and of connecting with others.
I like that.
Yeah.
The joy of discovery.